Joe Biden has not been able to catch a break this week due to constant attacks and people telling him to step down. And normally, I'm all for questioning our own candidates and asking if they are fit for office, as I think should be pretty normal, but Biden has proved time and time again that he is fit to run for this next election. But despite that, the media is still pushing on him to step down, despite not asking Trump to step down. Because arguably Trump is way worse of a candidate for president, considering he's a criminal, but for some reason the media just is insistent on attacking Biden. And this led Stephen Colbert to break character and attack the media for its biased coverage. Now we'll take a look at that in a second, but I don't think all of us realize how deep of a problem this is for the Democratic Party. Because it would be one thing if it was just the news networks asking him to step down, but there are multiple Democratic lawmakers who are also asking him to step down. Just take a look at this clip.
Look, this was a meeting that lasted nearly 2 hours. It began at 2 this afternoon. It was a virtual meeting because, again, lawmakers have not been back to the Capitol since that debate. They're returning actually in person tomorrow, so I assume we will see even more of them joining in person, finally huddling and reconvening with their colleagues to get on the same page or not about what President Biden's future should be as the leader of their party. You see all of those names and faces on your screen. The 4 additions are very significant because, remember, this call that House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries convened actually had the top Democrats on the key committees join the call. So you're talking about guys like Jerry Nadler. This is somebody who is the top Democrat on the Judiciary Committee. You're also seeing Adam Smith, the top Democrat on the Armed Services Committee. You're seeing others as well following suit. And we're told, according to our sources, that on the call, those 4 expressed a lot of concern, specifically with Biden being the top of the ticket. They want to see another nominee. Other sources said that there was overwhelming support, for example, for Vice President Kamala Harris to step into that role. With others, should Biden step aside, certainly not all of them calling on him to do so.
But here's the thing. Even if Biden wasn't fit to run for office, it would be too late to replace him anyway. Because if we tried to switch him out right now, there would be a ton of lawsuits from the Republicans trying to say, oh, nope, it's too late in the race for you to switch out your candidate. Just take a look at this clip that explains that.
Something that has not been talked about, the mechanics of replacing him.
Oh, yeah.
The piece that hasn't been talked about is Republicans will sue in virtually every state that matters. Not all 50 states, but they're going to sue the moment Democrats try to make this move to block access to the ballot of whoever.
Like a debate and switch or something?
Well, ballot access rules are state controlled.
Okay.
So they will choose about 20 states that really matter, and they will tie this up in the courts and go all the way to the Supreme Court before November to say you cannot replace Joe Biden on the ballot. They won't win many of them, but if they win a couple critical states, that matters to the presidency. So I'm not a Democrat, as I said last week. If you're going to replace Joe Biden because of the polls, there's a lot of work that's got to get done.
So yes, even if we tried to replace Biden, it just would not work. We would automatically lose the election. But like I said, Biden is perfectly fit to run for office, so it's completely absurd that the media and Democratic lawmakers are still trying to get him to step down. And it's especially bad because it's so clear they're not doing this in good faith anyway. Donald Trump is a million times worse as a candidate. He's a criminal. He constantly lies. He divides this country. Just overall, it is insane that they are saying that Biden should step out versus Trump, or at least equally saying that they should both step out. And this is what makes this Stephen Colbert clip so impactful, because in a sea of a ton of corporate media asking him to step down, he seems to be the only one asking, why are we not telling Trump this? Just take a look at this clip.
I know how numb we've become, but it's not normal. No other candidate for the presidency has ever had to pause his campaign to defend himself in multiple courts. And I would like to point out that in all 7 of his cases, no one doubts that he did these things. We're just sitting around patiently waiting to find out if the wheels of justice will grind fast enough for there to be any consequences. And the media is covering it like it's any other political story, like it's all horse race.
So I'm really glad that Stephen Colbert is being a voice of reason here, because I think a lot of people need to see this. It is crazy to me that people are asking the old guy to step down versus the criminal. Like, do we really want a criminal over an old guy running this country? It's just so absurd to me. And honestly, all of the media seems to be really in on this, and it almost seems like they have this secret agenda that they're secretly pushing. I have no idea what that would be, but that's what it really looks looks like because they're all saying the exact same thing. So if you've been needing more of a push to get away from the corporate media setting, maybe this is it.